Hello everyone, how are you doing today? Welcome to my channel. This is Sheree and my channel is Turquoise Dreaming, and I've got a flip through of a cookbook journal to show you today. So when you see this video, it will be in my eBay shop, which is linked below. You can just click on that and go right to my shop and look through and see if you would like to get this or another bunch of things or add on some things. And I always combine shipping if eBay doesn't always and usually doesn't get it right, so I usually end up giving a refund, or unless you order more than one thing, then sometimes, I don't know, you just never know. So if there's an overage, I always refund it after I get your packaged up and I figure out what it exactly is going to be. So anyway, let's get started with a flip through. I've got a little yellow pretty grosgrain ribbon here wrapped around. It doesn't really need a tight closure, but I just thought it would be pretty on there with the yellow and all these colors, and you've got a yellow little front piece here on this the original cover here. And then these I'm going to either put in the goodie pack or inside, just some extra little journaling cards. I made some of these. I think this one, I made them out of one-sided scrapbook paper. I liked it. I love journaling cards. And so, you know, when you have a pretty paper like this, it's just fun to cut some journaling cards. And then this is a little smash book journaling card, and it has this kind of ledger look on this side. It's white on the back. People who were there. You're supposed to write down people who were there. Maybe if you're getting this and you're gonna use it for keeping your Thanksgiving memories or recipes, then you want to write down people who were at Thanksgiving. So anyway, that will be somewhere. We'll either stick them in here now if I remember to look as we're going through for a spot, or I'll put them in the goodie pack, which is right here. And we'll look at that at the end of this flip through. So as you can see, the cover, this was a nice binder, and I thought it would just be fun for fall, these pretty colors. And there's flowers and berries and all kinds of apples and things on here. Here's the spine. And kitchen clips, a personal recipe file. This came from a thrift store. No, all my journals are original and unique. I don't have any digitals in them, so no one else will have exactly anything like this. But the inside covers were really, I mean, this was, there's not even any wear really. I don't see any wear on this binder at all, and this had a beautiful inside cover here. It says measurement equivalents there, and then this one, metric conversions back here. And it was just beautiful with the fruit and everything like the outside, so I left it as is, and everything's good to go here. So this is a piece of cardstock. I put as many papers in here as I felt safe, and then it would still, because if you put too many papers in, then it gets alligator mouth, and then also sometimes will make it hard to turn the pages. So I started off with this apple scrapbook paper because of all the apples out here. I thought it would just be really pretty to open up and have the apple scrapbook paper. And then I found this little kind of teapot cross stitch in my stash, and I was going to put it somewhere, and I was looking for a spot to put it, so I ended up layering it here with a little piece of red cardstock, and I layered it there. It's a little cross stitch that I found at a thrift store. So, and then there's a little label right down here that matches too, and I have a clip there, and that's clipping on a little tag I made here with green S&H green stamps on it. So it's just a little tag you can write on the back. It is well, I lined the back with notebook paper, so it's got lines on the back. But just vintage S&H green stamps, the actual original. Like I said, no copies or digitals in here. This is from Cookbook, and it's got lines on the front and back, and it's really, there's some cute cookbook pages in here, and scrapbook paper like this is cardstock, and I've got a little apple sticker there. On this side, I've got a little cupcake, and it's, there's lots of places for you to write, add your own, whatever. It doesn't have to be recipes. It doesn't have to even be anything related to cookbooks. It could just be your everyday journal, but you happen to like the cookbook recipe type theme. So here's a little card here. This was a 6x6 cut apart in this kind of apple fall scrapbook paper pad I have, and I put a few of these in here, but they're all different, but this is one I think is really pretty. This is just a little piece of ephemera that I picked up in probably in an estate sale on this one with my handwritten recipes and things like that. But just a little piece of ephemera, fun piece of ephemera from 1982 there, it says. And then this was a recipe in one of those, I've just picked up recipes wherever I see them, whether they're printed, handwritten, newspaper clippings, whatever they are, I pick them up. And so this was one for carrot cake here on this white paper. I added a little sticker right here, little fall leaf, and this is clipped on, so you can use that to decorate something with one of my decorated paper clips here. And it's a little price tag. Now this was printed. This is probably the only printed thing. If there's anything else printed in here, I'll tell you. But this was printed. That I forgot about that little price tag, because I've never found anything like that in a thrift store, and I thought they were really cute, and I wanted to try printing them out. This is another piece of ephemera from it says Grandma's Kitchen. It's from a little recipe library. This was in there, and it's just a little thing about the library. See right there. So I think stuff like that is fun to use. That old ephemera that most people would just throw out. This is a little pocket that was in one of my, might have been, I think these were in this one. I'm not sure. I think these were in this one though. And yeah, I think they were. And this one has, appetizers, has a little picture there. And it was originally a double page, and you'll see if you saw the videos where I was working on these, I cut the double page in half, and so I was able to use one here and one in the back somewhere, because it went together. It didn't come together out here where you could open it. It went together over here. So it was like two pockets folded around each other, and it went in the book like that. So I thought that was a waste of a page, so I cut the other one off and used it somewhere else. But anyway, the pocket there, I put a little decoration up here, a little strip of cardstock, and there's a tag. And this is actually from the front of a paper pad. This was out of the cover. I just thought all those pieces were so pretty. This is a little, like a flash card of wheat, or here it says grain. So that was a flash card. And then this is just a little writing spot that I had made a while ago from my already prepared ephemera, and it has a little stamp of a cupcake there, and inside it was an index card. It's an index card piece. Oh, on the back it says, "Happiness is homemade." I've stamped inside "from the kitchen of," so you could write anything you want in there, recipe, or just a little story or whatever you want. Little memory. And on this side I just have a little decoration. This is a mason jar, and this is a old Betty Crocker, they put these little points things on different things. It's pretty thick. It's probably from a cake box. I think it was in one of my recipe bundles that I got though at an estate sale. So I put it there as a decoration. I thought it was cute. I don't know if they still put those on things or not. They probably do, but I really haven't noticed lately. A little sticker here, like a label you can write on too. I did put some trims in here. So this page right here has this apple. This is fabric ribbon, and and I got everything. I get most things from thrift stores except for scrapbook paper, and I have a lot of scrapbook paper from thrift stores too. But this was from a thrift store. This apple ribbon, so pretty, and I put a piece there because of the apples. And then this is from a scrapbook that you make yourself, a scrapbook recipe scrapbook, where you make your own scrapbook recipe book. And so that's paper from that. Has little food related items there and lines you can write on, or you can just glue something on there, glue your own recipes on there. Some pretty gingham orange and white, and here's a little bowl of salad here sticker. And let's see. Hold on. There we go. No damage. Just a little sticky. But here's where we did this on video. We put these 3 pockets on here. And then I added some things to the pockets. So let me take this out so you can see. This says delicious. And that was from the paper pad, like the cover or something. This was a chipboard sticker right here, has a cupcake on it. And then here's a little Peapod flash card or game card. That's in there. This is a little mason jar in the second pocket, made out of scrapbook paper and little baker's twine there. And then this one said, "Here's to you." That's also chipboard from a little recipe kind of chipboard pack I had picked up at a thrift store. And another little mason jar right here. This is a smaller one. So that one's in there. So yeah, those are cute. This is a divider from like a recipe organizer. It says cakes and pastries right there. I've got some cakes and pastry, some little acorns right there. And on this side I have a little belly band made from just a piece that was in a little ephemera pack that I picked up at a thrift store. And so you see it goes through, so it's a belly band, and I have this little tag in there. So that's fun. There's a lot of fun things in here. This is a pattern that is a pattern for apron, to make aprons. And this is the back of it. And here I put this little decoration at the top. This way to the kitchen. I just like the colors and everything, and I didn't want to waste the back, so I just backed it onto some cardstock here. This is there's some of that, a different fabric ribbon right here. The red and greens to match this colors going on in this cover and everything. This is a little bookmark that you use in cookbooks, where you can bookmark a recipe and put the recipe name and just write about things about the recipe. And it has this little notch here at the top, and you just do that, and you can mark your recipes. Anyway, it's in here as ephemera. A little sticker here with like a label and a little place to write on there. This is some stationery that I only put in I found it at a thrift store. I would love to find more of it, but I put it in my recipe journals because it's red and white gingham, and I love it. It has lines. Put a little basket there, sticker. And this lady, I've had her in my recipe cookbook stash for a while, and I was like, I'm going to have to use her. I'm moving my craft room, and I don't know where to put her. I'm going to put her somewhere in here. So here she is. I think I cut her out of some magazine. I don't know which one, a while ago, and I had backed her onto cardstock, so she's backed on cardstock, and now she's glued down around this page as a decoration. Trying to decide something about her pots and pans here. And there's a little yellow gingham strip up there to decorate. Here I used a little red and white one. Here's the other side of that pocket. I said I cut it in half. This is the other side. Got a little sticker here to decorate this bottom part. And then in here I put a little bunch of recipes that I got out of what I call Grandma's recipe book that I found at the thrift store. And it's got several, like this is pretty much how I found it, with these recipes right here in it. So it just with these 3 sleeves. There's one on an index card here. There's 2 in here. And 1 clipping from a newspaper there. These are clipped like from, I don't know. This is blue. And this is green background. Ginger cheesecake. Strawberry soft yogurt ice cream. Maybe from a magazine. I don't know. I don't know what those are from. This looks like a newspaper too. Here, a newspaper here. This one's folded, so. And here's another newspaper down here. So, yeah, that's in there for you to do and have fun with. This is from another cookbook where I have some of these envelopes from a cookbook binder. And I put one in here. I think these are gorgeous. I love these. But I am using them. I'm not going to just hold on to these things anymore. So in here, I put a bunch of stuff in here that you can use however you wish, but I'll just kind of like flip through it real quick. So there's pages from different cookbooks, vintage cookbooks in here, different types of pages like this. Just different vintage cookbooks that I have. And here's a bunch I took out of one of my older bundles that I showed you. If you watch my video where I'm organizing under my table here, putting away all my cookbooks and recipe stuff, this was in one of those bags, and this is how it was in there. So it was just like this, these recipes, and I'm not going to take it apart or even unfold it. But let me see. Wait a minute. Let me make sure. Are these all clipped together? Okay. Yeah, these are all clipped together. Okay. I didn't do this. This is how it came. So it has an old rusty little straight pin right here. This is how someone's, back in the day, maybe they didn't have a stapler and they wanted to, or a paper clip, and they wanted to hold them together. They put a straight pin, and it looks, well, I guess it's not rusty. It just looks, distressed. It looks worn and old. And then they clip these recipes together. So there's one handwritten here. This is from an old book. And okay, there's just two. Okay, I thought there was more. Oh, I think this is 2 pages. And like I said, I don't want to damage anything. So it'll be for whoever gets this to take it apart. I'm trying to see if this is 2 pages though. I don't want to, I think maybe it's 1 page. It just feels so thick that it could be 2 pages. But so let's get these back in there. I'm going to put this in between layers so it doesn't get caught on anything and I don't rip it, or, I don't know how delicate it is, so I'm not going to handle it too much. That'll be for the person that gets this something, special that they can do. Like you can glue that down onto some cardstock and make a journaling card out of it, something like that. That anything delicate, you can always put some permanent glue on there and glue it down onto cardstock and preserve it that way. And you could even Mod Podge over it if you wanted to, or use some white glue over it. That's pretty much like like Mod Podge. Anyway, so. And then I used if you saw the video where I was organizing under this table, you saw the Chick-fil-A placemat. Well, here it is. Mardell said to keep it, and I did. And I decided to, when I was looking for things, I was like, oh, let me use that Chick-fil-A placemat. So here it is. And it's backed onto red cardstock. And I think it's really cute. This is the chicken part. See, little, or rooster, whatever he is. That's any other size in here somewhere too, so we'll come across that. Here's another 6x6. Happy harvest to you. Some fabric ribbon on this side. This is also from a recipe scrapbook that you do it yourself type of thing. Paper. Here's a handwritten, or no, this is printed. It looks handwritten, but it's printed, but it's a recipe card. You can write on the back there. This is a little pocket with made out of a coaster. We've got olives there, and in here, let's see. Oh, this is a fold out too. Scrapbook cardstock, fold out or flip out, and then pocket right here with the coaster. Several things in here. So I've got an envelope, cute envelope and card here. These go together, so I kept them together. But this little coffee grinder, and it's blank inside. So use it as a card. Use it as these are old. They came from a thrift store. So that does open. Sometimes they don't open. if they're old, they just don't open anymore. And you have to, if you want to open it, you can wet it and then dry it. But that one opens, so good to go there. So a little coffee grinder card, vintage, and this is gorgeous. I love the blue on here. Chocolate pudding pie recipe. Look at those dishes and the blue background. So pretty. Love that. Come for coffee. Chocolate pudding pie. That is in there. And then this little tag from a Campbell's kitchen tray. Good. That's in there. You gotta put the fun stuff in here too, right? No, this is not a serious thing. Little recipe book page. You can see where it was bound, and this is the size. This is the size it was. I didn't cut it down or anything. Here's some recipes over here. These are some recipe cards. They're perforated. If you wanted to take this out and take them apart, you can, or you can use it as a page. There's lines on the back. Here's the apron recipe. The apron pattern. I showed you the back, a little earlier. Here's the aprons and the apron pattern. I put it backed it onto this is dark green, like forest green cardstock, but really cute. I sewed around this page, and I think I probably sewed around. I probably sewed around the other side too with the back of the pattern. But I just thought this was really cute. I had to put it in here for cooking and recipes and things. And then this is a little strip that I had from the apple scrapbook paper. I just thought it looked so pretty on this green. So I put it there. Here's another one of these pockets, one that was originally in this recipe binder. This one's soups and salads. And then in here, Let's see. Now, I didn't glue anything in here, so I don't know why I'm having trouble getting anything out. I didn't glue anything in here. There's nothing. I didn't glue anything in there, so I don't know why it's doing that, why it was stuck there for a second. This is an adorable little card I have in my stash. Come to a kitchen shower. Have you ever heard of such a thing? It's vintage. It's been around for a while. The copyright is in Roman numeral, teeny tiny. So teeny tiny I can't even see it, but it's right there. The date, and so yeah, it's never been used. And come to a kitchen shower. Little vintage card there. So adorable. I love those. And yeah, I found those at a thrift store. I couldn't believe it when I found those. I would love to find more stuff like that, but it's few and far between. A pretty recipe card here. And this is a little piece from a cut apart from a scrapbook paper pad. And that is in there too. And oh yeah, it's goodie pack. Okay. Back on the back here. This is a little piece I had in a, ephemera. And I put it up here as a up tuck. So I can tuck things under there. Or you can write on there. And I mean, you can do whatever you want on these pages. I'm just throwing out ideas. There's a little memo sheet here from it has a coffee grinder on there. Little memo note, memo note paper. It says memo on the top. That's what I'm saying, memo. And these are from these two pieces here. I did back them onto because I felt this is they're from a very old cookbook I had, and a few years ago I made it into a cookbook journal. It came out really nice. And I believe these pieces are from that. And so it was really old. I mean, super old. And so I felt like these might be delicate. So I backed them with some cardstock just to protect them. But they are little pieces of ephemera that you could put down as a pocket somewhere or however you want to use them. But they are tucked in there for whoever gets this. And then this is a recipe card. Now this is a postcard, so it was used. You can read a little note here. 1959, so pretty old for a postcard. Has a little 3-cent stamp there. And then here on this side is key lime pie recipe. I probably got this out of one of my estate sale bags too. I bet I did, because I don't remember finding that like by itself. So that's tucked in there. A little page here from another like narrow recipe book there. Recipes on the back. Here's another page. These pages like this are from a Gooseberry Patch on Cookbook. The ones with the lines. There's one in the front that I showed you. This says notes from a country kitchen. And there's lines over here and a little when rolling out sugar cookies, roll out on powdered sugar. Well, interesting. Never thought of that. Here's just a plain piece of paper that I had. I don't know if it was floating or I don't remember where it was from, but I put it in here and added this little sticker here. It says, for my sweetie, little some recipe related stickers that I have. So that's there. Some more red and white gingham with a little sticker down here. I like these stickers here a lot with they look like mid-century modern. And then on this side, whoops, that fell out of the pocket. This is a little pocket made out of a little pot holder. And in here I have a recipe card with the strawberries. This was from a recipe binder that was small. It was like just a little bit bigger than this. See, here's the 6 holes. This was in that little recipe binder, but a little page from that. So those are so cute. And then another beautiful recipe here card, baked Alaskan pie. I love the colors in the pie here, the little green and pink in there. Here's the recipe and the coffee. I think I want some coffee. It's not time for my coffee yet, but that's making me want coffee. Another little journaling card or tag, whatever you want to call it. I got a little fabric tab up there, and this is made from a cut apart, I believe. There's a little rickrack there, little baby rickrack. A page here. This is another like recipe from a recipe library, a bigger card. And I got a little sticker on the back, so they got lots of room, open room there. Just another page like from the scrapbook recipe DIY book that I had. This one is, I thought was cute. I cut it apart. It was joined together, but I cut it apart at the fold so that it would turn nicely. And you can, of course, take all these things out of here because it's a, notebook binder, and move them around and do what you want with them. But I thought this was really pretty with this birthday cake on the front, and I love the color again, that little blue on there, and I just thought this was a really pretty one, so I put it in here. Great American Recipes. See, there's the cake. Here's the recipe. And as we move on, another 6x6 with the apples and a pumpkin. I guess that's a pumpkin. Some of the fabric ribbon. I put like at least three different fabric ribbons in here, so here's another one. A little sticker there that you could write on and then do whatever you want on this page. This is the other half of the Chick-fil-A placemat. Here it is. And this is a little flashcard I have clipped on here with one of my decorated paper clips. It's just it's a mixing bowl. These were cards from, I think these cards yeah, I backed them. Did I back them onto something, or did it come like this? Let me look at it real quick. Piece of glue or something there. They're pretty thick. I think that's how they were. And I got them at a thrift store, and they were part of a bingo game, I think. Yeah, it was really different, really cool. So I put the mixing bowl in here. Only one that had to do with food in there. So, or there might be two. Well, I don't know if there's more than one, but anyway, I found a mixing bowl, and I thought it was cute. Here's some more of that fabric ribbon I put on the back of this cardstock that this is on. The Chick-fil-A placemats on the other side. And then orange and white gingham here. And I put orange and white fabric ribbon on this side. Gingham. Another library card, recipe library card here. This has got a tab on it. And then DIY recipe book paper there. A little order form from a Pillsbury Classic Cookbooks, maybe from a cookbook. This I had in my stash. It was an envelope, and I showed it to you when I was organizing under here. And I was just pulling out, stuff to put in here, and I wanted to use this envelope, and so I decided, because it was kind of, old and tattered, and so what I did was open it up, you know what I mean? So it's not an envelope anymore. I cut it the side so I could open it up. I think I cut the flap off. The flap was very tattered. I just left, was the bottom flap, so that's still on there. And this number was on there, and it says Lee and Perrin's, the original Worcestershire sauce, or it just doesn't say sauce. But anyway, it's just the brown paper that I thought was so cool, and even has a little clasp. I was trying to think of something I could put on the clasp, but maybe somebody that gets this could put something, will want to put something there. But I thought of putting some paper on there or something, but I didn't do anything. But whoever gets this can do something there if they want. But anyway, I backed it onto some cardstock and just sewed around it, and now it's a page in this journal. And I think it's very cool because it was an old envelope that probably should have been thrown in the trash, but we recycled it and repurposed it there. So this is one of those 6x6 pages. This one is "You Are the Apple of My Eye," has apples on it. And one of my mason jars here that I made, left it open so it could be a little tuck spot. And then I just tucked some note papers in there that I have with recipe related stickers on them. And that's the way I used up some of my just blank little note papers. I had a bunch of, this is actually ephemera. Yeah, this is ephemera from a paper pad that I cut out, it looks like. And then these are some little recipes also that I stuck in there from a recipe book that I have picked up in the last year, actually, on this one. I think this one might have been a goose. This one was gifts in a jar. And you're supposed to tie these onto the jar, these little separate recipes, when you give somebody the gift in a jar. But I cut them all apart and do things like this with them, put them into junk journals. But they're really cool because they have the recipe on this side, and then you can write over here. Yeah, so this is where they were bound originally, but you can see that. But yeah, just some fun recipe cards there. And you can decorate them and, you know, make them into pockets or tags or whatever you want. You know, everything's in here for people to get these journals and, you know, have some fun. And this is the last page in here. So this is the apple scrapbook paper, apple pie scrapbook paper that I said I would put in here at the beginning. I said I have to put the apple and the apple pie. So I ended up putting the apple pie in the back. And it opens up. I left this one big so it could be a little flip out there. So you have all that room. Or you can even, if you wanted to use some of this, just cut it off at the fold and then use it how you wish. And then, you know, the apple is in the front. So you got the apple pie in the back, the apple's in the front, and there you go. And then, oh, we didn't put these in, so I'll put these in the goodie pack, the little drawing cards I showed you at the beginning. I knew I kind of figured I might forget to. I didn't forget, I just didn't really concentrate on finding a spot for those. So I think it was pretty, all the pockets were pretty full anyway. So I put some red and green tickets in here. I kind of gathered up extra stuff and then just whatever I could, you know, whatever I had out. And like, here's an extra piece of the fabric ribbon and a little, this is a little piece of ephemera from the ephemera pack. The Way to a Man's Heart, if you want to use that, it's there. And then, we've all heard that, right? The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. That's what they used to say anyway. These are, I believe these are stickers. These are, yeah, they have a little backing you can peel off there. Red and green stickers, you know, kind of sticking with that color if I can. Put things in here like that. Some extra little, these are index cards. I like to cut them in half and round the corners to make little drilling cards. So there's a few for you there to use however you wish. These are little pieces that I had out here that I didn't use. So like I didn't know if I was going to use this. Like this could be a little page. See, this is the original fold, but I liked the fudge on this side, but I didn't end up using it. So I just put it in the goodie pack. And then here's some extra recipe cards for you, for whoever gets it. Lines on the front and the back of that one has the little flowers, and this one has a little bowl of strawberries, it looks like. Very pretty. Lines on the front and back of that one too. Oh, here's the flap of I put it in here in case. You can throw it out if you don't want it, whoever gets this. But it's the flap from the apron pattern. It has all these pretty dots on it. Somebody might want to use it. I didn't use it, so I put it in here. I wanted to use this too, but I didn't use it. Little T tag. So I put it in the goodie pack. Some little stickers that I had left from the stickers. These are all too. So see, a lot of the stuff I got out, and then I tried to use it, like, you know, like that envelope, the brown envelope. I did use it, but some of the stuff I didn't use, so then it goes into the goodie pack. So here's some stickers. These are actually corner stickers, but you can use them however you wish. And then, let's see, what's this? Oh, this is 2 envelopes I got out that I had glued together a long time ago. And I got them out, and I was like, I got to use these, but I didn't use them. So there's 2 envelopes that are glued together that you can use for something if you want. And then there's some more recipe paper pages from a recipe book. I love looking at the old dishes in these, some of these old recipe books. And the food. Look at this cart. It's got the blue. I jump right to the blue, don't I? Blue teapot or coffee pot there. It's just so pretty with that old-fashioned, probably 50s gold cart, serving cart there. This is from that old book I had. It's a little bag of flour that I had cut out, fussy cut out. And I didn't use it in here, or, you know, I didn't use it. I had it out again. Things I had out. And so I went ahead and put it in a goodie pack. But it's from a very old recipe book. And it was called Rise On, or whatever, right? However you say that. Rise On flour. And that was the name of the recipe book. This is, oh, it's just cardboard on the back, but it's probably from one of those bags of handwritten recipes. And it's just, try these new Royalies party and gift decoration direction. This is party and gift decorating suggestions. I thought it was interesting. It's just like a piece of ephemera that somebody would normally, you know how we are, we like to save these things that somebody would throw away, but here it is in my hand, and nobody threw it away yet, so it's up for decorating or cutting up, whatever anybody wants to do. It could be 3 tags. You cut this up, you could cut this, and then, or you can cut this, keep these together, or cut these separately, or keep the whole thing together and make a big drilling card. This is actually a canning label. That's what the package called it. And I believe it has the original peel-off paper here in the back. So you could peel it off, but of course you're probably going to have to add some glue, but do whatever you want with that. But those are cute. I didn't put that in there. This is this is called a recipe. This had something to do with recipes, organizing whatever recipes, and it has a little opening here. I don't know if you're supposed to actually do something with that or it's just 2 layers, but if it were me, I would probably cut right here, and just use it as paper, or cut it so that you don't have this white on here on the front and back, or you can use it for a pocket and actually leave it the way it is and put it on a page, decorate, and then use it as a pocket. So it's in here. I didn't use it, so there it is. I've got 2 of these little kind of flashcards. It's a game. What is it called? Game? Right? Maybe that's the brand of the game. But it's a stone soup game. If you've ever heard of stone soup. There's the stone. And then they have a lot of vegetables in stone soup. So I put the carrots in here. So you get the stone and the carrots. This was a little piece I had in there. I think this was from a printable that I helped make. And I think it's really cute. It's just a little scrap, but I thought it was really cute. I never wanted to throw it away. And it has the months on here. And so I just was like, I wanted to use it in here, but I didn't. And then I have a guest check. This is also printed because of the color. I wanted to see what that color looked like printed. And so I printed this from a free printable. But it's really pretty. So that's in there. It's cardstock. I wanted to use this in there in the worst way, but I didn't. It's from a knife, fork, and spoon from a restaurant. I have a couple of these. I think I have one or 2 more left. This might be the last one. I don't know. But anyway, I didn't use it, so here it is in the goodie pack. And I did put a couple of the old, from, my little bags of old recipes. I put a couple in here. So there's this one. Apple Quickie. She's got an X on that one. And the other one, maybe she didn't like that one. And she liked this one down here. Apples baked in sherry. There's that recipe. Starts out in pencil over here, and then there's Pinhead. Oh, this is a different recipe. Fresh raspberry and raspberry sauce. I bet that's good if you like raspberries. I like raspberries. Turkey tetrazzini, handwritten. Used to have some old tape on here. It doesn't now. This is the way I got it. And then I put you in a whole bunch of stickers here. This is a sticker, a little like you can use it as a label. It's just a little shaped kind of circular. Oh, this is a piece of ephemera that you glue down. And this is probably the last of the ephemera. If you saw the ephemera that I put in there, like the little uptuck, this was from that same package. And it's just probably the last piece. So I put that in there. And then there's some little stickers that I'm kind of like just giving away as a freebie kind of de-stash thing. And I thought maybe whoever gets this journal could use them. I haven't had them for a while and I haven't used them. Watch, I'll probably, I'll put them in here and then they'll be gone and then I'll need them, right? That's exactly what's going to happen. I'll make a coffee journal. No, I don't have one planned anytime soon, so I thought, let me just go ahead and put those in here. I don't know why I had them out. Anyway, that's the cookbook journal. I hope you enjoyed the making and the flip through, and stay tuned. I have another flip through coming up in the next day or so, and I'll see you then. Have a great day.